just had a couple changes in mind that I could figure out.
Okay,
but
the only
whatever.
thing was who was here.
Yeah.
And then to highlight
Change
that
that one page.
Sergio.
Just a couple of things,
Okay.
really. That page right there, can you change that one out?
You bet.
Page 5.
Perfect. Thank you, Mayor.
You ready?
Just about.
So when you introduce Steve Ballinger,
Chaplain.
And then badges here.
Right on.
Youngest son,
Got it. Maroon.
which is maroon. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we ready? This is not working very well.
Does it need to go up?
Yeah, right there. See that? Floppy mic. That's not really. You ready? Such an orderly group this morning. Thank you. And let's get things straight up front. Larry, that's not your car. And the bottom line up front today. There is nobody more ready or able to take on this calling than Larry Gonzalez. Good morning and welcome. Today, we are here to celebrate the swearing in of Larry Gonzalez as the next chief of police for our Riverside Police Department. And probably most importantly, we're going to start with an invocation by Chaplain Stephen Ballinger, followed by the presentation of the colors by the Riverside Police Department Honor Guard and bagpiper Drew Mendonça.
Good morning. Would you please stand for the invocation? Let's go before the Lord. Gracious and merciful God, I want to thank you for who you are and all that you are, all you've done for this great city. May today and every day be a day that reveals the work of your hands. Thank you for the many blessings that you provide us each and every day. Thank you for life itself and for the measure of health we need to fulfill our individual callings. Thank you for the ability to be involved in fruitful work and for the honor of serving our fellow man. This morning we want to lift up to you Larry Gonzalez, as he will soon be sworn in as Chief of Police in order to lead the law enforcement officers of this outstanding Riverside Police Department as they serve and protect the citizens of this great city. Your word reminds us that those who lack wisdom are to ask of you, and you will liberally give them that wisdom that comes from above. And I pray, Father, that Chief Gonzalez will always look to you for guidance, direction, wisdom, and strength. And as he does, that people everywhere would see your character and your integrity in him as he maintains and demonstrates that servant leadership role. Father, I firmly believe that you have raised up Chief Gonzalez for such a time as this. But I also pray that you will raise up the right admin team to surround Chief Gonzalez, to support Chief Gonzalez, to advocate for Chief Gonzalez in order that the men and women of the Riverside Police Department can continue to provide the best and most professional police services to the citizens of Riverside. And Father, I would be remiss if I did not lift up Chief Gonzalez's wife, Tammy, and all his family. And I ask that you be with each of them and keep them safe and secure and strong as a family unit. Help our chief to always have his priorities in order. You, family, job. Then and only then will your work be accomplished as it should. We also want to thank you for all our dignitaries who join us today. And we ask that you grant favor upon each of them as they do the people's business. We know that nothing can be accomplished alone. We know that in order to reach our goals, we must all work together. There must be partnership. I'm mindful, Lord, of how Joshua partnered with Moses to confront the obstacles before them. I'm mindful of how the soldiers partnered with Joshua in order to take on their obstacles. And I'm mindful of how the religious leaders, Aaron and Hur, partnered with Moses in order to overcome their obstacles of the day. We know we live in difficult times. And we know that there will be difficult days ahead, and we know that there will be challenges to face, and we know that there will be obstacles to overcome. But let none of our leaders become an obstacle to the obstacle. Help us to remember that no single person can do everything that needs to be done, and no one person is more important than anyone else. Help us to set aside self, for we can accomplish more together than we ever can separately. And with your help, and as we all partner together, we know we can succeed in making Riverside a safer, brighter, and stronger city than she is now. We thank you for our new Chief of Police, Larry Gonzalez. And we, as the Riverside Police Chaplain Corps, we look forward to serving him and the Riverside Police Department. And now we just want to place our new chief into your hands, and we ask that you would use him to your honor and to your glory. And this I pray in your wonderful name, the name above all names. Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Uniform personnel, present.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the hope of the brave.
Uniform personnel, order.
Amen to all of that. What a great intro. Now let me take a moment to recognize members of our city council and city management that are here with us today. Please take your seats. Councilmember Aaron Edwards, Ward 1. Councilmember Andy Melendrez, Ward 2. Councilmember Ronaldo Fierro, Ward 3. Councilmember Chuck Condor, Ward 4. Councilwoman Gabby Placencia, Ward 5. Councilmember Jim Perry, Ward 6. Give them a round of applause if you would. Then city management team overseeing Larry's work. City Manager Al Zelinka, Assistant City Manager Leah Deasing, and Deputy City Manager Carly Myers, and Deputy City Manager Moises Lopez, and I think former City Council Member Steve Adams and former City Manager Scott Barber are in the house. Let's give them a round of applause for their service. Is Larry's mentor here? Sergio? It's a banner day in Riverside as we gather to formally seat Larry Gonzalez as our next chief of police. Riverside is a city rich in history and community pride. Today is a fine example of that. Thanks for turning out. Also today we stand to promote one of our own who has come up through the ranks and has demonstrated pride and community stewardship throughout his career. Since the beginning, Riverside has been a desirable place to live because of decisions made from its stakeholders, including its founders, elected officials, the business community, and other leaders around our city. Those decisions were most importantly made for the health and safety of our community and sustaining a stable future and quality of life. Chief Gonzalez was selected after a detailed search, including an overwhelming amount of input from you, the community. Through community meetings and community engagement, a standard was set for what was needed, what was desired, what was important in our next chief of police. As our city evolves and accepts the challenges of today and the future, it was clear that Chief Gonzalez has the forward thinking, mutual respect, and tenacity to ensure our city moves forward with success. Chief Gonzalez brings his extensive level of experience following 27 years in law enforcement, which includes the last 15 years of management experience with RPD. In his experience, he's assisted multiple divisions within the department, including support services and civilian personnel, and managed the Records Bureau, communications, and internal affairs. For the past 3 years, he has worked as Deputy Chief of Administration, and most recently as Interim Chief since September. Chief Gonzalez brings a wealth of professional police management experience, along with a commitment to the Riverside community, honed over years of service to our city and its residents. So the residents of Riverside and myself are looking forward to continuing a wonderful relationship with Chief Gonzalez, and I congratulate him and his family on his new position. Chief Gonzalez, please join me at the podium for your oath of office. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Larry Gonzalez, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations, Larry. Come on, get up. It's the chief. He's really uncomfortable right now. That's a good thing. I'm going to now invite Tammy Gonzalez, Chief Gonzalez's wife, and his children, Larry Jr., Garrett, and Brianna, to the podium for the presentation of his badge.
can't be the only
You got
one
one
getting
more, you
some
got one more.
today. For my daughter Brianna.
Who wants to hear the chief say a few words?
I told the boys, sorry, you just get a handshake. Thanks for coming. I'm humbled. This is exciting, and I like to start off by expressing my sincere gratitude to our city manager, Al Zelinka, the mayor, Rusty Bailey, and our city council for their confidence in me. So thank you very much. There are many people here that have supported me throughout my career, without whom I would not be here standing today. While I don't have time to name everybody, I would love to, but I must acknowledge a few key people. First and foremost, my lovely wife, Tammy, you just saw. Without her love and support, I don't think I could have done it, so I appreciate that. My mom and dad are here. I definitely wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, so I have to thank them. My children, as you saw, Brianna, Larry, and Garrett, I couldn't ask for better kids. I'm very proud of them. I have uncles and aunts, and my in-laws are here. I would just like you all to please stand and be acknowledged, and thank you for coming. Thank you. I've seen a lot of friends outside of my law enforcement family. I thank you for all the years of supporting me and being that venting person for me that I could talk to outside of work. I appreciate it and happy you were able to make it today. I'd like to also acknowledge my colleagues. Like the mayor said earlier, retired Chief Sergio Diaz. Thank you for your mentorship and leaving this department in good shape. Good enough shape. Yeah, thank you. Good enough shape for a guy like me to be able to run the department and start the succession planning immediately with our up-and-comers and our current command staff. Also colleagues like Sheriff Chad Bianco, District Attorney Mike Hestrin, and all of my fellow police chiefs from the Inland Empire, from the Inland Region, and law enforcement leaders. If you could please stand and be acknowledged, I really appreciate you guys showing up. So there's a lot of them here. Thank you. The retired RPD personnel, absolutely love them. I don't know if Mike Watts is here. He's our conduit to having us stay in touch with all the retired folks. A lot of guys that have mentored me throughout the years. I appreciate your emails and support. Thank you for coming. And of course, the outstanding men and women of the Riverside Police Department. I mean both sworn and civilian. Those who support, trust, and believe in me. It inspires me to do my best every day, and I truly appreciate it. Especially, you know, I had the support of the unions, which meant a lot to me. So much to where they even let me use this car for the swearing. It was great. I remember just a couple weeks ago, I talked to a few of young patrol officers that saw me out at the back of the station, and very supportive. Say, hey, Chief, we're happy you got the job. We were rooting for you, and we're glad to see an inside guy can go through the ranks and get the chief job. And you know, we really tried to make sure there was no drama during this this whole interim process. So we were, you know, make sure we might. I'm like, well, if we can keep that up for another 5 or 10 years, I'd appreciate that. But I know what they meant. And I'm also especially thankful for the command staff. If you guys could please stand and be acknowledged, all the captains and lieutenants here, deputy chiefs. They were very helpful throughout this process. Also, a lot of us were doing double duty. We ran short a couple of positions at the command staff level, and they were all very supportive and helped me get to the finish line during this process, and I'm very thankful for it. Last but certainly not least is the community of Riverside, the Riverside community members who rely on us to protect their lives, homes, businesses, and quality of life. I remember one of the first groups I ever had a lot of contact with that have always supported me, the East Side Think Tank. I appreciate them for all their support over the years. All of the neighborhood groups throughout the city who've been supportive through my entire career. I think of the NAACP, Latino Network, the group, the chamber groups, the business groups, and all the faith-based groups that have been tremendously supportive. I truly appreciate it, and I want you to remember that I am a stakeholder and a community member myself, and we will continue to work together. I appreciate all of you, and I will not let you down. Our mission statement at the Riverside Police Department is that we're dedicated to improving the quality of life by creating a safe environment in partnership with the people that we serve. We act with integrity and grit to reduce fear and crime while treating all with respect, compassion, and fairness. When I talk about quality of life, I realize if I have 20 meetings to go to this week, which I probably will, the one topic that will come up at every one of them is homelessness. So it is a priority for us, for me in this department. It is a crisis. We will continue to work with our other departments within the city, our partners within the county, and our community to help bring an end to this. It's always paramount for a chief to reduce violent crime and crime itself, whether it's violent crime or property crimes. That's always at the top of our list to make sure that we can keep that going down every year. And, you know, with Measure Z 2.5 years ago, it's an exciting time for us. We're able to continually hire, put more men and women out there in blue, get more dispatchers, get more equipment, get more police cars, and we're hiring them as fast as we can. So we'll be back to where we should be, well over that 400 sworn mark, and I'm very excited about that. We will commit to implementing the latest technology available and best practices to meet the demands of 21st century modern policing. We will invest in the success of our employees by providing excellent training, opportunities, advancement, and personal growth. In my career, I've been through the loss of 4 officers in the line of duty. I know some of the survivors are here today. I appreciate you, and I want to make sure that you have my promise that you will always be in our hearts, you'll always be part of this family, and your loved ones will never be forgotten. Thank you. The Riverside Police Department is rich in tradition, like the mayor said earlier. It's been my second family for 27 years. I have literally grown up in this department while watching the police department and our city grow as well. Together, we have gone through struggles, mistakes, tragedies, and triumphs, all of which reminds me of Dr. Martin Luther King said, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." The measure or character of our police department and city has only strengthened over the years. With the leadership of this city council and the priority that they place on public safety, I am confident we can improve on the successes we have already achieved. As your police chief, I will work relentlessly on enhancing the potential of all of our communities through professional and responsive policing that focuses on respect, individual needs, quality of life, and safety for all who work, live, and visit Riverside. Thank you very much.
Yeah. That's our chief. Give it up. That's a wrap. He told me he wanted to shake everybody's hand that's in the house, so he'll be right out front with some treats for you. So please, make sure you give him a high five, give him a hug, shake his hand, and congratulate our new Chief of Police for the Riverside Police Department, Larry Gonzalez. You're dismissed. Unless you want to ride in that. Come on up here, because I'm getting a ride in that sucker.